I saw the list for the I was on the mail list for their um, like their talent for this upcoming season. I didn't see my name on there. I was like, but I'm so happy I'm at UNLV. So I'd rather be here coaching
So you're
than being there.
happy not to see your name on the list at ESPN?
I'm happy to be coaching. I love working for ESPN. Loved working for Turner. Loved working for NBC. Loved working for CBS Sports. I love, but I really, really love being at UNLV as the head men's
Us
basketball coach.
YouTubers can't watch ESPN, so even if you were still working it, we couldn't see you.
Yeah, well, so I can't. Yeah, that's
no comment on the.
no. That's way. That would be way above my pay grade on that one.
So, Josh, how have you managed to get the chemistry with this group accelerated to where it is right now? These guys are saying how they get along, they like playing with each other together, they like playing for you and your staff. How have you managed to get this thing rolling as fast as you have?
Yeah, you know what? Three things I would tell you was the most challenging part of the job that has been, and not in a challenging of a negative way, just again, I'm being transparent of the challenging. One is we had to have 13 new players, basically 13 scholarship guys. So the challenging part of that is, one is I feel like, man, do we have everything in that we need to have in and going into your first game? Obviously, when you have 13 new guys, you're still feel behind. Sitting in my chair is behind on some of the installation, if that makes sense, because there's so much to do to put in, and when you have a whole new team, as you mentioned, Steve, it makes it tough because first and foremost is you got to get the chemistry. And so the amount of time and things that we did off the floor, like we've done more things off the floor than probably in all my career in a single year, because I recognized that there was no returning guys. Everybody was brand new. So guys had to know each other off the court. So we spent a lot of time on that. Two, the second challenging thing has been our injuries. That has really caused us to say, okay, what can we add and not add in practice and installation? Because you're limiting some guys, and you had to move guys into different spots that maybe weren't their natural spots. And so you're saying, okay, can we add this part of our installation of our systematically in our system offensively or defensively when it might not be initially suited best for this individual? So I had to maybe make some tweaks and say, hey, look, we've got to make sure that we put this, we might have to back off of some of these systematic things. So we put the guys in the best positions to be successful. That wasn't maybe best because we've had to change some of the things we've done based on our injuries.
Is there any injury update for tomorrow?
Let me just say this. And the third thing is the last thing, I'll give you that update on that. The third thing on the challenging part, so you have the chemistry, you're trying to get everyone to get together, do the injuries, and then three, when the injuries happen, how to get guys back. And to get them into the flow of your system. You got to remember, these guys who've been out, it wasn't like they've been able to practice they've been sitting and doing on the sideline because they haven't been able to do anything. They've been in a boot or whatever. So to get them into practice and to try to catch up to speed when other guys are so far ahead of them, that's been an interesting process. Not a difficult process. It's been interesting that we haven't been able to go from A to B to C to D. We've had to just conquer A before we can get to B to get everyone on the same page. To answer your question about the update, right now, the same scholarship guys that were cleared to play versus Lincoln, which was 8 of them, which the 7 versus Washington, you included Tyron. Everybody else there's a few guys that I'll know more tomorrow. We got to see how they go in their load management in a sense of what their injuries can take today in practice, and then we'll make a decision tomorrow through our medical team. I'm hoping we get a couple back, but I'm not counting on it. It could be longer than expected. I think medically, I think the concern is not rushing them back. Of course, I want everyone back now, but I've got to do whatever medical says. So it'll probably, for a guy or two, could be a game time decision tomorrow. But the reality is down the road, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we get good news and guys start coming back full speed ahead. But right now, here's what I know. No matter what, the 8 guys that played in Lincoln, or the 8 scholarship guys plus Jalen Cunningham, will be all good for tomorrow. They're 100% clear to play full go tomorrow.
Can I ask you a question about Jalen?
Go ahead.
What kind of experience is he getting some real game action and some big time action?
You know what?
Washington?
I know he's a walk-on, but he's a good player, and he's able to hold his own. Does a nice job, and if his number's called, he has to be ready. I mean, we get him reps in practice, he has to be ready. So that's just the reality of it. And right now he's one of our, going into tomorrow's game, we technically have 10 guys, and he's one of the 10 that if need to be.
Do the injuries impact the tempo you want to play?
Well, pace. We got to have great pace. I think what the injuries affect the tempo in a sense that I'll probably I'll sub more in a sense where okay, maybe a 5 is going well, and then I got to get a couple guys out because I want to keep the intensity and the pace up. So get them out at another 3. So instead of maybe subbing, you're playing 9, 10 deep. Yes, you could play 9, but the way you substitution, maybe it's more in a mass substitution, more so that there's single-handedly 1-and-1. So because you have to, when you sub based on how we play, you've got to fit in the certain positions and who's playing what, because you just can't say, okay, you out, you can play this position. So thinking through that is I do that before we start playing, but in the end, we've conditioned a lot so we can play at a high tempo, and we just hopefully can play with great pace, play with great intensity to everything that we do.
Has the injuries changed your expectation for flow of how you're going to run things this season?
Well, no, because in the press conference, as everybody was here, I told everyone we're going to be great with competitive excellence. I don't care if we play with 4 guys. I mean, competing is competing. I mean, if we have 4 guys on the floor, we might be able to slow it down a little bit, but we're going to compete. And the second thing is, I told everyone we're going to play with great pace. That ball's going to move, 0.5 mentality. We're playing downhill. We want to play with great pace. Now, what does that change systematically? There might be some things that we have to look at to putting our guys as I mentioned earlier, to put them in the best chance to be successful. So we might have to maybe back off on a couple systematically things that I was thinking we can do X, Y, and Z, but based on the injuries, okay, it might not work for player 1, 2, 3. So we've got to now change that a tad bit to get them in position to be successful. That's best suited for them. So trying to do that a little bit, but again, in the end, basketball is such a rhythm, flow, energy game. As great as football is, baseball is, just like the 7th game of the World Series the other day was incredible. I mean, in the end, they all have a stoppage after every play. Basketball is so free-flowing. A lot of it's just kind of some creativity along the line, but nothing can stop us for 2 things. Because I gave my word, and I will hold on to that. Competitive excellence. We will compete. Like, that is the standard. There is nothing more important to me. The way doesn't guarantee you're going to win the game. But everyone knows that their team, their program is going to play with an appreciation, not ever play in entitlement. And then the second thing, I know the fans want us to be the running Rebels. That doesn't mean we're going to play wild and just play crazy basketball. We got to still be sound, fundamental, but we got to play with great pace. What does that mean? Cutting, how we cut, the pace of our speed of our cut, the way the ball moves, the ball's thrown ahead, all those type of things that I know that, fans want to see with the running Rebels. So that's important to me. I gave my word on that, and I'm going to stand by that.
Josh, what is it about? You got across town, you have Florida and BYU and
Arizona and Villanova. Yeah, those 4 teams playing.
8 teams in the Mountain West opening today. What is it about opening day that's kind of cool?
Yeah, opening day is really cool just on the fact that it kicks off college basketball, obviously, as in the sense that you've been working for so long since pretty much the summer, June all the way now, that you get to play your game and get after it and compete. There's a scoreboard. You want to compete. That's why you have that opportunity. So it's exciting to do that. Obviously, a mile down the road there, they've got 2 really good games to kick it off. There's already games going on all day today. So I just think it gets everyone's juices flowing, and we're excited to kick off our season tomorrow night.
Along those lines, we know everything you worked on, everything you put into the players. We know what you want to get out of the season. But tomorrow night, do you really not know until the lights are on, the scoreboard's on? Is that when you really find out about everything?
Yeah, obviously, you're just. We're going to get better as the year goes on. I hope tomorrow we don't peak. You know what I mean? So I want us to get better as the year goes on. But Yeah, I think you're going to learn about your team every time you step on the floor, because there's only so many. You're playing against each other so much. We need to play against somebody else, and we have a really tough schedule starting tomorrow night against UT Martin. Everyone we play is a good team and well coached, so we'll have to be really focused about us doing our job. And if you guys get to know me, like, I'm a big believer in preparation, and really big believer. But in the end, I'm a big believer that we got to do what we got to do. And again, does that guarantee you wins? No, but we've got to be excellent in the things that we got to be excellent in, and then from there, that gives you your chance to put you in a position to be successful. And so, no matter whether we're playing UT Martin, we're playing Lincoln, we're playing Duke, we're playing Kentucky, we're playing Wyoming, San Diego, it doesn't matter. We've got to. The way we prepare, we'll be preparing that we've got to be great at what we do at a very high level. And if we can be at a high level, that gives us our best chance to have a chance to put us in position to be successful.
Have you enjoyed this process of taking 13 guys who didn't know each other and turning them into a team?
I've loved it. Like, I have really enjoyed, like, being the head coach and trying to gel the team together in the organization. That was probably one of the things when I was at TV that I missed, was the camaraderie, the putting the team together and organizing it and seeing the growth and the progress towards it. So yes, I have loved it. I've loved seeing the guys like get really excited for when someone else makes a really positive play. And you know what? It hasn't all been rosy either. I mean, there's been times where guys, there's been some tough areas where guys have butted heads, and I've had to get them on the same page, and that's all part of building a team. And as I told our guys many times, there's going to be adversity throughout the course of the season. The one thing we can never do, our teams cannot do, is ever, it can happen in the course of the game. You can't be against the ropes and then just lay in a fetal position. You got to punch back, and that's part of dealing with a long season. You've got to have the toughness to do it. And I've always said this: players play the game, tough players win. And I believe we have a bunch of tough guys, and guys got to show that every time they step on the floor.
You mentioned growth steps from Washington to even what you saw to Lincoln. What kind of growth are you looking for tomorrow night?
Well, I mean, what I would tell you is we just got to look. You want to win every game you play, obviously, but as in terms of when you're sitting there watching the film, you want to see you get better and better. Yes, I thought we were better against Lincoln than we were versus Washington. Obviously, I'm the first to admit the competition was different from Lincoln and Washington. And UT Martin is going to be better than Lincoln, way better than Lincoln. So we know that. That all being said, we just got to see that we continue to improve, get better, clean up some things that we got to clean up. And I think everyone here, as part of the media, you're going to want to see the team get better as the year progresses. We want to continue to be good, but be good to become great. And we want to be on a steady climb every time we step on the floor. Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.